people that are unrelated to yourself being added and taken off the account, and that's what's called seeding or piggybacking. You're not authorized to use the card to establish credit for people that aren't, they're not, that don't have a relationship to you.
All right, so I just got off the phone with US Bank and they closed one of my credit cards for unapproved activity, for illicit activity. And I was trying to get the reason why. I haven't used the card in a while, and it's because I was adding and removing authorized users. They called me out on it too, yeah, due to credit card piggybacking. I'm surprised they closed one of my accounts because I was just as active on the second account. There might be another account closure coming to my other US bank account, so we'll see what happens. It kind of sucks because that credit card was 6 years old and had an $11,000 credit limit. This is definitely gonna ding my credit score. I don't know how much. I don't know by how much. My credit score was 823. It still is right now, and it's been about a month. But we'll see in the next month or so how bad it gets. So this was one of my two US bank accounts. I have another credit card with them, and I did the exact same thing. I don't know when they'll close it or if they'll keep it open. I applied for the US Bank Altitude Go card. They did not approve me for that card. And I applied about a month ago, which is about the same time when they found out about my Radisson card piggybacking. Let's explain. Here's what happened. US Bank has closed my credit card due to activity that doesn't agree with the terms and conditions of having the credit card. I was calling and being coy with the reason, trying to figure out why they closed my account, because my transactional activity was pretty stable, and the reason why I was adding and removing authorized users every 2 months with US Bank. Now, I was doing about 2 authorized users every 2 months, and I've been doing this for several years. I've been working with some companies online. I'm not going to give you their names because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but there's a lot of these companies that sell trade lines. Trade lines just mean you can be an authorized user for a fee, a high fee, on someone's account. Now, I was making some money. I wasn't making a lot. I actually was a little irritated because I found out how little they were paying me. I was being paid like $75 to $200 per authorized users on all my high limit credit cards, while they were charging between $500 and $1,200 for those same authorized user slots. Now, they were just the middleman and taking a huge cut of the profits. I actually started another site to do this exact same service and wanted to start my own business doing that. That website is slidecredit.com. You're going to see nothing's available at the moment if you're watching this in June 2020 because they're taking away my authorized user slots. Okay, so this is the first time a bank has actually closed my credit card for this type of activity. I knew there were dangers of this happening, and I was finally hit with the consequences. Now, I've been doing this for several years, so I'm surprised it took this long for it to happen. With the global economic situation, I think banks are being way more cautious, and now they're actively taking the time to look out for fraudulent activity. It's fraudulent when you add authorized users that you don't know to improve their credit, because that's credit card piggybacking, and they want everyone to earn their credit score on their own. Now, that's a little, I don't know, that's gray. That's a gray area for me, because if you're from like a well-off family with a good credit score, the family members can piggyback off each other to have a good score. The family members could piggyback their own children by adding them as authorized users to build their credit score. Whereas other strangers who have not have had the same opportunities or don't have the financial literacy, they do not get the opportunity to build their credit score because their parents have bad credit. It's another issue. But what we can do is explain how this works and how you can leverage your good credit or use someone's good credit. If you've ever tried to buy a trade line before, you know what I'm talking about. No, and you probably haven't. It's a super niche category of sales, but when you buy a trade line or authorized user slot, you become an authorized user on someone's credit card account. Now, the thing is, you're going to want to be an authorized user if that person is using their credit card responsibly, they have a high limit, and low utilization. That's like 10% or less. Basically, they're doing all the things that should make your credit score really good. To use a credit card responsibly, you have to use between 1% and 10% utilization for that credit card. Well, actually not for that credit card, for all your accounts in total. But when you're an authorized user, you need to have at least $1 on as your statement balance. So when that statement balance hits, there's a number to report to the credit bureaus. Let's say person A helps person B by making them an authorized user on their credit card. And person A is using their credit responsibly. They have a $10,000 limit. They have a 10-year history. And they have a low credit card utilization among all their accounts of at least 1% to 10%. That is proper credit usage. And now that they've added person B to their credit card account, person B benefits from all of that. So on person B's credit report, it shows up that they have a new account in their credit profile that has a $10,000 limit, that it has a 10-year history, and it has good utilization. Now, having credit card debt between 1% to 10% is responsible, but never pay off your credit cards early. It's what appears on the statement balance. So you need that at least 1% credit utilization among all your credit cards to be using credit in a healthy and proper way to keep your score high. So that means you never go to a zero balance among all your credit cards before the statement date. You need to have at least 1% debt on your statement date. So let's say among all your credit cards, you have $10,000 as an available credit limit, and that's like between 4 different credit cards. Since you need 1% debt, that is $100. $100 has to show up on your statement balance to show that you're using at least 1% debt. Never pay your credit card statement early to show a zero balance. At least have something on there. For me, I just set up auto pay and make sure that on my statement balance date, everything gets paid off and there's like some number that appears on there, just to show that there is activity on the card, and this helps keep the card open. Now, in the event that they close the card, you can always call them and find out why. They closed my US Bank credit card, and I called to find out why, and it's because of illegal activity. They knew that I was adding authorized users from all over the USA, and they were all among different ages. So they're like, okay, the odds of this person knowing this many different people at this many different addresses in these various age groups is very low. And he's been doing this for several years very consistently. We think he's credit card piggybacking and he's selling authorized user slots. They were right. So that's why they closed my account. They closed one of 2 accounts that were both doing that just as much. Now, I don't know why one is still open and the other isn't. And actually, I applied for the US Bank Altitude Go credit card about a month ago. I don't know if they looked into my credit card account history because I applied for a new credit card. And just a heads up, I did not get approved for the US Bank Altitude Go card, even though I really wanted it. I did make a lot of money over the years selling authorized user slots. So in the end, it's not really a big loss. It's still a big overall net gain for me. And I guess if this is news to you, you can sell authorized user slots. You can use this credit card piggyback system to raise the credit score of people you know. You could always charge them a fee. I thought I was going to start a business with this, but with the global pandemic and banks tightening their belts, this is not gonna happen. At least I'm a little more cautious about jumping into this because banks will absolutely close your account if they catch on to this. From this experience, here's what I learned. One, you can add authorized users to your account so they can improve their credit score. This is called credit card piggybacking. If you can prove you know the person, it seems like the credit card companies are okay with it, and if you don't abuse it by adding and removing many authorized users. Number two, I probably burned my relationship with US Bank, and it's going to be difficult for me to be approved for credit cards with them in the future. As far as checking and savings accounts, I think I'm still okay because today I just applied and got approved for a checking account with US Bank. I only did that because they have a $300 sign up bonus and there's no early termination fee. So once you get the bonus, that's a free $300. So I'm going to have a future video on that. I'm waiting for the bonus to post before I post the video and have the results. Look forward to that in the future. And for your reference, you should know that credit card piggybacking is the fastest way for you to build up your credit score. And let's just leave it at that for the day. I'm Dan. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, help me out. It costs you nothing. And until next time.
Activity. It's just something about activity on the account. I mean, there's hardly any, transactional activity. I mean, there's only a total of, there was an annual fee and then $15.99 in transactions on this card in the last year. So, so it doesn't look like it's transactional activity. So it would be some other activity on the account, and the only other activity you'd be if it's activity on the account, it'd be activity you're aware of. So, what other activity has been going on with this card other than transactional activity? It's not being used. There's a number of people that are unrelated to yourself being added and taken off the account, and that's what's called seeding or piggybacking. You're not authorized to use the card to establish credit for people that aren't, that don't have a relationship to you. That's not the purpose of an account. Yeah, there's no credit card company out. There's no bank that once they see activity like that, that'll keep an account open. That kind of thing is going on because we have no way of knowing who this person is or whether they're a real person when they're just an authorized user. And a lot of fake identities get established that way. And that's why it's a risk not just to our bank, but it's a risk to everybody that has credit anywhere. So, all right. Thank you for your call. You have a great day.